My cousin wants me to publicly apologize for what I wore to her wedding. This is absolutely crazy, and it just happened to me this past weekend. I just need some outside perspective to see if I'm in the wrong and should apologize, or if I should stand my ground and, quote, tear the family apart. This will be a long one, and yes, this actually happened. This last weekend was my female 23 cousin's female 25 wedding. She had been with her fiance, male 30s, now husband, for about 2.5 to 3 years-ish. We got the wedding invitation in the mail during the summer and had noticed that there was a dress code. She wanted everyone to wear fall colors and had a link to a website that had approved colors on it, as well as her wedding registry and venue address. Fast forward to a week before the wedding, I look on Amazon and I find this burgundy floor-length dress and some black heels. The colors were approved on her dress code, so I thought all was well, and I tried them on for my husband, male 23, and he said I look great. I'll attach the pictures. Oh, that's cute. You got that on Amazon? Oh my goodness, that is actually so cute. Great dress, great shoes. What's the problem? So, this past weekend was the wedding. We go and watch as they exchange vows and clap as they walk down the aisle, and then we all meet back at the reception. I thought all was well, and once we got to the dining hall, I noticed it's like a buffet style for people to get their food and drinks. I noticed the line is way too long for me, so I send my husband to give our 2 kids to my parents so him and I could go congratulate my cousin and her new husband. When we walk up to my cousin, she does a double take at me after we congratulate them. She asks if she could speak to me privately. Oh, pretty strange place to have a little discuss with someone. I mean, don't you have other things to worry about at your own wedding? Once the door shuts, it's like all the fake smiles and warmth disappeared, and she starts berating me about how I wore red to her wedding to try and signify that I wanted to sleep with her husband. But that's burgundy. This is burgundy. To preface, I have been with my husband for 9 years. We've been together since we were 15 years old, and we are about to be 24. We have 2 kids together, a boy, 5 years old, and a girl, 6 months. I've also never met her husband. We lived 2 hours away from them, and the last time I saw her in person, my son was a year old, and she didn't even have a boyfriend at that point in time. She went on to say that I was and I should be ashamed of myself for wearing something so revealing, and that my husband was probably so embarrassed by me. Oh my goodness. So at this point, I was getting very mad. I had worn a color that she approved on her list, and in my opinion, I looked great and modest, and so did my husband. I'm 5 foot even. I'm currently feeding my daughter, so my are a little over a double D. And since I work out regularly, my waist is slim and I have a decent sized bottom. My hair goes down to my and it's brown with blonde and purple highlights. Okay, so you did look better than her. She's also very beautiful, but her body is a complete 180 from 9. She's 5'5", she has maybe an A cup, she's got a small waist and almost no, but she could still pass as a model. Her skin is perfect, her hair is to her shoulders, and she's blonde. In my opinion, we are both pretty in our own way. This is 100% about you looking too good. Like 100%. I told her that couldn't be far from the case. I had never met her husband and was very happy in my own relationship. I had been with my husband for a very long time and I loved my little family. She was not having it though and kept yelling at me saying I was nothing. And she was embarrassed that I came to her wedding in such a distasteful dress and that she was gonna tell her daddy on me for ruining her big day by trying to look better than her. There it is. At this point, I'd started to cry. Oh, bestie. She made me feel gross about my body and embarrassed because I was just standing there and she refused to listen to me. I know she was getting loud too because it didn't take long for my husband and mom to find us. My mom had my daughter in her hands and said that she was looking for me because my baby was getting hungry and fussy. Once she looked at me, she immediately knew something was off because I rarely ever cry. My husband took my daughter from my mom and walked over to me and grabbed my hand and asked if I was okay. My mom looked around and asked my cousin what was going on and why I was crying. My cousin threw her hands up and said I was acting like the victim because she exposed me for dressing like a tramp and trying to seduce her husband, that I was so obsessed with him and that I had to name my son after him. My son and her husband do have very similar names. Let's say my son's name was Samuel and her husband's name would be Sam. It's not the same name, but it's a longer version of her husband's name. She got an issue with you, man. She got problems with you that run real deep. My husband laughed at this and told her our son was named in 2020. There you go. 2 years before she even met her husband. And there was no relation to the name. Oh my goodness. I was wondering about that. Okay, no. She delulu. At this point, it's probably been about 20 minutes, and I know guests are starting to wonder where the bride is, and that's when her dad, my uncle, comes outside with her husband to see us. So picture this. I'm standing next to my husband. I have mascara running down my face. My mom and cousin both have their arms crossed, glaring at each other, and my husband is standing there feeling uncomfortable, holding our fussy daughter. My uncle immediately goes to me and hands me his handkerchief from his pocket, while my cousin's husband goes to her and starts to whisper in her ear. I have no idea what he said, but I wipe my eyes and I tell my uncle my husband and I are leaving and that he can ask my mom, his sister, what happened. We get back inside and grab my son from my oblivious dad and say our goodbyes and go to the car where I feed my daughter, then change both the kids into PJs for the 2-hour drive home. The next morning, my cousin sends me a barrage of text messages, Facebook messages, and Snapchats demanding I publicly apologize on Facebook for dressing so scandalous to get her husband's attention at her wedding, and for trying to make it all about me by leaving early, embarrassing her. What were you supposed to do? If you stayed wearing the dress that she was clearly uncomfortable with, then she would have accused you of, everything she's accusing you of. But you left because she seemed to have an issue with you, and even that's a problem? What did she think was gonna happen? When my mom and uncle told a few people about what she did because her daddy didn't take her side when she tried to yell over my mom about what happened. So far, I haven't answered her messages, but she keeps sending more and more every day. If anyone should be apologizing, it should be her. This is a ridiculous thing to be mad about. My husband is completely on my side and is very baffled about this whole thing. My husband and I have been together, like I said, for 9 years, but this was his first meeting of this side of the family. I'm adopted and I only have my uncle on my mom's side. Her parents have already passed away and my aunt is literally a crazy Karen, but that's another story, and we are no contact with her. So would I be the a-hole if I just decided to go no contact with my cousin and refuse to apologize for the dress I wore to her wedding? Or should I just say sorry and save face because of holidays with my uncle? I don't know what to do, but I'm definitely leaning toward no contact because I don't want this behavior in my kids' lives. I don't want them to think it's okay to act like this, but if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. I don't think you're wrong. I think definitely low contact at the very least. And you don't have to make it about your kids at the end of the day. This person disrespected you and made you cry over something really dumb, over jealousy. This is literally over jealousy. You looked better, you looked vivacious, you had curves, and you wore something that showed them off. You didn't wear something that's lingerie to her wedding. This is a very modest dress. I'm sorry. Especially if you have long hair that's covering your shoulders. This is a very modest dress and tasteful, I might add. She's angry that you looked good. And if she's that insecure, she's got bigger problems. Let's look at the comments. $10, your cousin found out her new husband cheated on her, so she's hypersensitive to anyone around that could possibly be perceived as a threat. If anyone needs to apologize, it's her, not the a-hole. I mean, that's a fair assumption. It could be possible that she found that out and she's hypersensitive to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this issue, why the cousin? You know what I mean? I feel like this issue ran deeper than that and probably has a bit of a history there. That, or he made a comment in the bride's presence about how nice OP looked. Whether it was an innocent or creepy comment, the bride took it out on OP instead of the groom. People can't get mad at you for simply existing and looking good. Just saying. Let's not go blaming and assuming the groom is a cheater just because the cousin is a bridezilla. And I got evidence. 1, she tried to tell her daddy on the cousin and blamed her he didn't side with his daughter. Number 2, she called her cousin a slut for a dress in a color she approved. 2.5, having approved colors at your weddings for guests is just a major red flag. I would somewhat agree with that. It's normal to approve colors for the bridal party, but it's your wedding, and if you want people to wear fall colors, then there's dress codes for weddings. I told people to wear pastels or a bright color or something like that. And it wasn't because I cared if someone showed up in something different. I wouldn't have cared. It was honestly to make the guests look good because of how colorful the building that we got married in was, and all the colors associated with the wedding. I wanted people to pop with the background, Tried to claim OP named her son after a man the bride hadn't even met yet. Not a single person except OP and OP's husband were surprised by this behavior. No one was happy, but none were surprised. This was not the first time her acting like this. Yeah, I agree. That's why it's I feel like this is a long-standing kind of feeling that this bride had about her cousin. Oh, we do have an update. Oh, I know you love that.